Yeah, the guy who did creature art for Morrowind is not maybe the most reliable actor.
Ah, Mr. Mayor, thank you for your discretion. Construction fatalities matter.
This guy's
reading
bad.
cards.
I love it.
Oh, there's cars dropping from the sky
Yeah, I
as
was
he's trying to beat
that car just
Ronaldo.
fall?
There is a form of multimedia entertainment beyond that which is good. These games are as vast in number as they are terrible. They dwell in the dark recesses of history, unearthed from the pits of the bargain bin. These are the games of horror. This is Garbage Game Night.
Welcome to Garbage Game Night, the podcast where we move forward, not backward, upward, not forward, and always twirling towards freedom. My guest this evening, a nice concise group of folks that are going to tackle this bite-sized game. First, Frank, how you doing this evening?
Doing good.
Actually, Frank and Hunter, both Hunter. You weren't here last week either. How you doing, Hunter?
No, I wasn't. I'm doing well.
Yeah, you guys weren't here last week. The last game we played was no game at all, but a series of games. Frank, can you give best guess about what Captain Novolin was? I'm assuming you didn't listen to it. And
No,
it's okay.
I listened to the podcast.
Oh, you listened to it. So can you explain Captain Novolin to me?
No, not only did I listen to it,
See, you should have asked me because you know that I didn't listen to it.
Oh, I'm going to ask you the next game, but Frank, what about Captain Novolin?
you were fighting. Was it that one? Was you were inside a body fighting diabetes, right?
No.
Or no.
So far off.
It was someone. Yeah.
Insulin.
Actually, Novolin is a name brand of insulin products. So
It was about
diabetes.
so it was about insulin.
Yeah.
I know there was 2 diabetes games, a lung cancer or smoking game, and
Now Hunter doesn't have anything to explain.
Now I'm gonna.
But okay.
I'll think of something to say. I'll just explain.
Yeah, Captain Novolin is a action-adventure game about diabetes, and you have to manage what foods you're eating, what power-ups you're collecting. Otherwise, you'll just keel over and die. The next game that we played was, I was going to ask Hunter, what do you think Rex Ronan, Experimental Surgeon, is about?
Oh, is it about diabetes?
Good guess. No. Rex Ronan is about a smoking or cigarette CEO who has a doctor go inside of his body to destroy all the effects of the cancer.
Oh
you got
my
some
God.
tartar on your gums. He goes down into your lungs and cleans up the precancerous, deposits. And in the meanwhile, the surgeon who's inside the body has to fend off killbots that were sent there by
The cancer.
Blackburn Cigarette Company because the cigarette company doesn't want Rex Ronan to save Jake, because if they do, then Jake will be like, cigarettes are bad.
So
but it's also like,
they'd
why don't
rather
they
him
just let the
die
cancer kill him?
than be
Yeah, why don't they
alive
just let
to
the
buy
cancer
more
kill him?
cigarettes?
Yeah, it's complicated, but that's what we learned in Rex Ronan, that the cigarette company wants you to die.
Do you ever go into his prostate, or is it just like lung cancer?
No, although this part right here that I just put up on stream.
Yeah, where is that?
You would think that you might be in the colon, but that you're going down the esophagus right now, or the trachea. If only we all had Rex Ronan.
If only.
Then next we had Bronchi, the Bronchiosaurus. Frank, can you remember what that
one was
about?
about diabetes.
That one was not about diabetes.
So by process of elimination, my next one is going to be about diabetes.
Everything was diabetes. I'm pretty sure.
Bronchi the Bronchiosaurus is about a dino who has asthma. And,
asthma. That's
I
what it
need
was.
this
God
one
damn it.
when I was a kid.
God damn it.
Yeah, so the goal of this game was to normalize what asthma was. So your friends come over and they play the asthma game with you, and they're like, "Oh wow, now I understand asthma and why you have an inhaler." The evil dinosaur destroyed their wind blowing machine that blew away all the dust from an asteroid. I don't know why he would do that, but you had to find the pieces to put it back together, and you had to avoid piles of cigarette and dinosaurs that were smoking in windows.
I feel like my friends would play this game, and then the next time they saw me use my inhaler when I was a kid, they would still laugh. I don't think it would do anything. It doesn't seem like this game would change a lot of people's perspectives. They'd just be like, okay, so your weakness is still dust particles, right? Okay. So
And they made a bad video game about your condition.
yeah, like if they had like I don't know, like a Legend of Zelda that was about asthma, maybe. Maybe it would change somebody's mind, but...
This last one was Packy and Marlin, which was about two fun-loving elephants who both have diabetes again.
See,
Rhea
this
systems
should
or health
be
heroes.
like an asthma one, because elephants and big noses and, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But...
Good call. That was a major misstep.
Are elephants like more susceptible to
diabetes?
Known diabetes?
Yeah, known diabetics elephants.
Okay.
For sure.
I know they have like amazing memory.
Yep, so those are the games from Health Hero Network, or Rhea Systems, were the publishers and developers of all those games. A lot of interesting games there.
I like the cover art for the first game that you showed, because you read it, and I thought you were just saying like, oh, it's an action-adventure game about diabetes, but it just... And how do you make a game and you write that and you think like, yep, that's going to work. An action-adventure game about diabetes. Well, this will sell millions.
They handed it out to like hospitals and stuff, so I don't...
They weren't in it for the money. They're in it for educating.
Right. And they had funding.
They were in it for the love of diabetes.
Yeah.
Time for some GGN news. Let's talk about what's going on in the gaming world and what we're playing real quick. Some things, not a whole lot going on, honestly, in the gaming world. One of the things that I saw standing out is Stranger of Paradise, the new Team Ninja made game that's in the Final Fantasy world, is coming out. And you might have heard something about this. There's been an odd clip floating around for a while in which the main character, Jack Garland, he reacts to like this speech that someone gives and he goes bullshit and then walks away and starts playing Limp Bizkit on his phone. You guys might have seen that floating around.
I may have missed that one.
I don't know if you can hear that, but he's listening to Limp Bizkit as he walks out. Oh, I might not be able to play that on stream very much. It's okay. It's in the game, you know? Yeah, and then he presses stop on his phone as he's walking out. It's a different style for the game. Apparently, it takes place with the lore of the original Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy 1. And it's like a kind of a shadow story to that. It's like in that same world, kind of reimagined or something. I don't fully understand or anything, but
with cell phones.
With cell phones and Limp Bizkit, yeah. So
somehow, even though there's monsters all around the world, Fred Durst is just still alive and kicking.
Fred Durst exists in the Final Fantasy universe for sure.
And the Fight Club universe.
Yeah, so they actually revamped that scene, though. Unfortunately, that he still plays Limp Bizkit and walks out, but now he doesn't have a shirt on anymore. But the game launches.
That's what they
changed about it.
That's the thing that they changed about it. Yeah, the game comes out tomorrow, and you may see some news about it, either failing horribly or taking some weird risks. That's kind of it.
What if it dropped with a full Limp Bizkit soundtrack?
Oh, a new album.
All fight music, all like the cut scenes, the sadness, the excitement, the action, just everything.
Yeah,
to a Limp Bizkit
by
song.
Fred Durst.
Yeah, because Japanese composers are kind of,
they couldn't get Trent Reznor, so they went for
them. So imagine
Fred Durst
with Fred Durst.
Next best thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Really, all the news that I just scan the headlines of what's going on, and man, Elden Ring is still just dominating, like 3 weeks later, still dominating the gaming world. That really ran Horizon Forbidden West out of the conversation, and Hunter, I think, is the only one here who's actually playing it.
It's not even that great.
Yeah, it's
fine. Whatever. No, it's like, I'm enjoying it. I just like that style of game. I think they have done a lot of really cool things, but I also think that it's still a lot of the same. And to be honest, there's a lot of things that I would have liked to see them put more time into, like the multiplayer. For a game this big and with this much to do, and for like how difficult it supposedly is. And it can be difficult at times. Like there's bosses that I'm just like, all right, I'm going to summon somebody in. But like, I was working on one guy, was summoned into somebody else's world, helped them, but we both died. And then he friended me and was like, hey, let's like work on this. And I was like, okay, you put in like password codes, and then you're automatically, anytime you set a summon, it'll show that person that puts in the same code. So it's like a long-winded process. And then we beat it for him. And then you have to go back and beat it for you still.
Yeah. Yeah, and it still relies on that Dark Souls multiplayer system, which it's clunky as hell.
It really is. And I would say that's like one of its weaknesses. I think I love the minimalism. I know there's been a lot of jokes. I don't know if you've seen any, like, if like Ubisoft made this game,
where like how many indicators it would be.
Yeah, like the HUD from hell. But I like the minimal aspect about it. I like how they do quests. I like the gameplay. I think they've done a great job of like balancing the classes too. You can actually play a full mage or you know, a spellblade, which is kind of my main character. So I put quite a bit of time in it. The music's great, the visuals are great, and the enemies are great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still too early on to give it like as in-depth a review as I'd like, but I have already put like I think I put over 100 hours into it.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Over 100 hours, not ready for a review yet.
But I also realize that I leave my PlayStation 5 on and playing all the time. So maybe actual playtime, maybe like 60. Sure. I'm pretty
just
bad
show
at that.
the knives for feet birds
yeah,
on stream.
that thing can go fuck itself.
Yeah, I mean the Dark Souls play style, which this is, like I said on the last podcast, it's like it's Dark Souls 4. I mean, I mean it's great that it's like a new universe, I guess, but they kind of all are. It's more of Dark Souls, and if that's your thing, you're gonna fucking love this game. But if it's not, then it's like, take it or leave it.
I'd say I don't know enough about George R.R. Martin to see like his influence.
It's really hard to say, like, what he did. Did he just write about the lore, like the backstories of the characters?
So I've heard a couple things. One, I've heard that he, like, wrote the story for this game. And, like, Miyazaki is like, I'll make the game, you write the story. And another thing is I've heard, like, they showed him the setting, like, this world, and he just wrote a short story. And then they took that and turned it into this game. And it's very Dark Souls in the story, too. It's very vague. You have to, like, read every item thing. I watch a lot of lore videos because I want other people to do all the research for me. But they're like, yeah, if you look at this character and then you look at this item that you find on the other side of the world, it makes reference to this character. So you know that they've done this. And I'm just like, thanks for doing that, because I don't even remember those names.
I've seen someone say in a tweet or something or that, like, Dark Souls lore is great because you can kill a guy named Beelzebub the Unrelenting, and as he's dying he'll say, like, oh, Margaret, forgive me, and it'll mean like 1,000 different things to people who make a YouTube video about it, but the developers don't have to do anything with it.
Exactly. And that's
it's all like, very vague, and people have to do their own research if they want to understand the lore, which you could make the argument that's like, that's not much of a story at all, but whatever, you know.
Yeah, and that's how they've always done it, though.
Yeah.
The story of this game is essentially the same as Dark Souls, just with different words in different places. Like, you are you're the lowest of the low, you're the tarnished, you're the undead, you're whatever.
Maidenless.
You're maidenless, and you've got to beat all the big people with all the big powers that have been, like, keeping something from happening or making something happen, and then in the end it's ultimately your decision. In Dark Souls, it's lighting the fire, you know, that's either going to usher in an age of fire or an age of darkness. In Elden Ring, it's collecting runes to put the shattered Elden Ring back together, and that will either usher in this or that, but it's all the same. And then you just kill big guys.
What's going on with Elden Ring. Well, all right, enough about good games. Let's get into this.
Ooh, real quick. One last good game.
Okay.
Just beep 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 beep.
Sorry. Beep, beep, beep. Yep.
No Man's Sky has a new expedition. I think there's only 3 weeks left now, you know, so there's still plenty of time to get in. The biggest pain in the butt is getting rank, it's either 15 or 16 with the, I believe, the Explorers Guild.
Yeah. What do you get from it?
What's the premise of the expedition? Or what do you get?
This one, it's I believe, the Sentinel update. So they updated how the Sentinel, because remember before with the Sentinels, they were kind of easy to kill, you know, not a big deal. Man, these Sentinels have given me some fucking trouble. They have shields now, like they like summon pop-up shields, you know.
How do they keep
which isn't that big of a deal? You kind of,
it is wild they're still supporting this.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I mean, it's just so. And then they added, I believe,
Drone
3
companions?
new weapon types that you can put onto your multi-tool. You know, upgrade your Minotaur, which is that thing, to make it look like a Sentinel. version.
Can I make it look like Diva from Overwatch?
No, unfortunately, not yet. I mean, there could be a crossover. I mean, Blizzard, they're kind of hurting for good PR, so maybe they would do that crossover. Give them time. The Sentinels there's like a healer Sentinel. You see to kill that guy first, and there's also like a summoner one. So it's a real. So it could be a real clusterfuck.
An actual like battle mechanics.
Yeah, it's like it could be a real big pain in the ass.
Cool. Very cool.
So the rewards for this is you get like a little robot pet, and you get that new backpack that looks like it has wings.
Wow, they've added so much to this game.
Check it out. Sky.
All right. Well, enough about good games. Let's get into this one. So the year is 2014. Some developers form a new studio, bringing together devs that had previously worked on Destroy All Humans, The Gunstringer, and Rock Band projects. But what do they get together to do? To tell the story of a hero. Set in 1977, this game tells the rise to fame story of Georgio Manos, arguably the world's most famous revolving chauffeur. While driving people around the town of Roundabout, players will learn about the dizzying highs and terrifying lows and secret loves of a revolving limousine driver. You'll experience the 70s in the only authentic way possible, with full motion video set in the interior of a limousine.
What is a revolving chauffeur?
We are going to find out what a revolving chauffeur is.
I don't like this, Chris.
What is this picture?
I've put the
Weekend at Bernie's, baby.
Steam thumbnail on here with our Georgio there on the right with the cap, and another character we'll meet later, and a skeleton prop in the middle of them between them. So have either of you guys heard about Roundabout?
I don't think so.
You know what? I don't think I'm gonna make it tonight, you guys. Sorry.
You go back and strike on?
I'm gonna strike the podcast.
Oh no, they're unionizing. I'm not giving you guys much information here, but how does it sound? How's the pitch sound?
I'm scared.
To be a revolving chauffeur.
It sounds atrocious. I'm just trying to figure out what a revolving chauffeur is. So, like a revolving door, you know, either the chair in the limousine spins around, or, is it you get out of the limousine and get into other ones? Are you just driving in circles? Like,
all right, lots of ideas. Frank, what do you think?
Do you stand in the middle and limousines revolve around you?
Okay, limousines revolving around you.
It's either just the monotony of driving, with different passengers, or I don't know why you would ride with different limo drivers. That's more confusing to me. So my guess would be more like a crazy taxi thing where you're just picking up different people.
All right. Well,
crazy,
I've
wacky.
Sent both you guys a code. Go ahead and install your games. You can both launch it.
Does the car revolve like? What would that be, like horizontally or vertically, where like as it drives it kind of just rolls on its side?
Okay, now you sound crazy, Hunter.
Like a hot dog on one of those the quick
7-Eleven.
Yeah,
hot dog roller. I got one of those. I think. Remember, I
have a hot dog roller. My first job was at a movie theater, and we had one of those. I would take the hot dogs out of the freezer. I would take them out of the Ziploc bag they were in. I would put them on there. And then if there were any left at the end of the day, which there always were because nobody bought the hot dogs, I would take them off of it, put them back in the Ziploc bag, back in the freezer. And I did that they told me to do it that way for my entire time there. And I did. I like this music.
Oh, now I could go to settings.
70s music? It's nice.
Turn this fucking music down. Jesus Christ.
The city that always spins. If you can drive through here, you can drive through anywhere. Now, you might notice that things are a little peculiar around here. Well, that's because this is Roundabout. Everyone does things different around here. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
Hi there, Georgio Manos.
Meet
There's Georgio Manos,
the world's first revolving limousine driver.
Great. Well, I'll be the instructor for your limousine.
A twist.
So here's the answer to your question,
never
Frank.
stopped revolving.
The whole limousine is revolving.
God
People,
damn it, Christopher.
Obstacles. Nothing could stop Georgio from twisting and turning.
So shitty.
Except for building ghosts. You know, things taller.
Barely. Here's your driving report. You'll get one of these after every ride. Enjoy the thrilling world that is the luxury transportation industry, I guess.
Nice. You didn't explode into a fiery wreck. So while Frank runs into some things and starts the next mission, what is a revolving limousine? Imagine a limousine anchored in the middle and spinning ceaselessly, just spinning like a slowly revolving top, and you've got to travel down the street with it. It's a top-down view. The controls are simplified. It's not like you have to decide when to accelerate or reverse depending on where your front is pointing. Just go left, right, and the whole apparatus travels left and right while you're spinning. The trick is to account for how this long stretch limo is spinning, and you have to coordinate your movements around pivoting around things to avoid obstacles, trees, cars, the environment that is moving at times. So, you take that and you combine it with a story-driven kind of crazy taxi, and that's kind of what we're dealing with here. So let's check out the first mission, Frank.
Honestly, no.
I've never seen anyone drive like you just did at the DMV. Can you show me some more? Need a ride to my shop.
So Georgio Manos doesn't talk, and Nikki the mechanic has two obviously put their spots of
Grease
oil
marks?
on his face. Yeah.
He's a greasy boy, okay?
Oh,
That's how you know he's a mechanic. All right, now Frank has killed a few people now. It is surprising. It is surprising how violent it is when you run someone over.
Have you ever thought of going pro?
and you get points for it.
Mm-hmm. You do get some bonuses for running people over.
Oh, I keep getting stuck in between things.
Oh, yeah. Then you just go bong, 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 bong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I got him there.
It's a little weird.
So the world you're in is a little small sandbox. It has some challenges, story missions. You can replay any of the missions upon anytime you want to improve your score. The challenges are, online leaderboard ranked. How's it going for you, Hunter? How you doing?
Oh, I'm going. I just dropped off. Okay, I'm picking up the kids now. I dropped off
Oh,
Mickey.
wow, you're faster than... Oh, there you go. Your same spot as Frank, actually.
Oh, I totally left that area. Oh my god, this is the worst fucking game.
It really is. Oh my god.
Chris, sometimes you really get a stinker, and man, oh man.
Hold shift to speed up. Why would I want to do that?
Oh, good. Now I need to go even faster. Perfect.
I've died more times in this than I have in Elden Ring. Yeah, I'm ready to score this one if you just want to cut to the end.
You gotta go with the flow, Frank. Don't just speed through it. You're trying to rush it, Frank. You gotta... I'm gonna switch over to Hunter's stream. He's doing better.
Let's go, Georgio.
Oh my goodness. All right, so you're revolving around ceaselessly, trying to avoid the terrain. Look, Frank's getting the hang of it now.
Some of the terrain is destroyable and some isn't.
Yeah, it takes a little bit to recognize that most of the fences you don't need to worry about.
I hate the writers. I hate the people who made it. I hate everyone.
Really, yeah.
It's funny because a limousine is a very long vehicle, and spinning in circles isn't conducive to tight movements.
Yeah, I know. The school spends all...
Again, Frank's strategy of jetting his way through the obstacles.
Oh, she rolled her eyes.
I've never seen someone with so much disregard for obstacles as Frank.
Listen,
I learned how to drive in
don't
Grand
tell
Theft Auto,
Frank how to play his game.
Pick up the date guy. Oh, this isn't going to be creepy at all.
Oh, I'm already on this one. It's really bad.
Well, I mean, we're seeing a movie after.
Oh my god.
Well, she's just meeting me.
Yep.
Oh gosh.
This is so very cringy.
No.
Hats? My limo can have a hat?
Oh yeah, you can have a hat.
Oh, but I only have $7.16.
Oh, that's not enough for a hat, probably.
No. I guess I have to get somebody somewhere without crashing to get money.
There's multipliers. Like every time you pick up a coin, you start getting a little more money, and then if you pick up a cash stack, I think it cashes it in. Yeah, the longer you go without hitting things, basically, is how you get money.
This is so bad.
You got a limo to drive us to a drive-in theater?
Damn it, Steve!
This is far out! Did you come up with this? You could call it Georgio.
Is this girl hitting on me?
No,
Why does she keep saying groovy for no reason?
Just keep hitting that tree, Frank. You'll get through it.
Oh, I fell off the god. He's cheating on Giorgio.
That's what Hunter said.
God.
This gentleman seemed disappointed with the Such a shame. The bride is such a peach. Definitely do a lot
I think Frank's starting to get the hang of it. I'm seeing some. Uh-huh.
I think I see him. We'll pass him all dragon.
Oh, Frank's getting it.
That's the same shot over and over again.
No.
Over.
The same FMV shot over again. It saves space.
Again.
It saves space.
Yeah, this could be a 3 gig game.
Oh, don't.
God damn it.
Sometimes you get your revolving limousine pinned between 2 objects and you just blow up instantly.
Yeah, I mean, you know. That's why I
think I hit every corner on purpose.
I think you're getting the hang of it though, Frank. You're getting the pivots. Sometimes. Someone's calling in. It's a Ronaldo.
Je ne sais quoi.
The people seem like they want to die, you know?
Yeah,
it's like,
really
why do they come to me to die?
Why did they come to Giorgio to meet their fate, huh? Giorgio will give them what they want, but I want to know why.
So now, if you hit the bouncing tires, the blue tires, you reverse the direction of your limo. You don't have to do that, but it can help sometimes. Some areas are better to go around clockwise rather than counterclockwise, you know?
I'm just whipping and nay-naying, all right?
Uh-huh. That's what they teach you in limo school.
Oh!
You might have to reverse for that one, or go around the right side.
Again, Chris.
You just force your way through. That's the way to do it.
This all sounds like a movie that I would have written and acted in when I was in, like, middle school. Like, you have a certain je ne sais quoi. I will call Jimmy Carter, don't you tempt me?
Yeah, that is one of the background voice lines. So, because it's the 70s, you realize.
I keep forgetting that, you know, because...
The FMVs don't.
Now there's revolving...
Yeah, there are a couple Corvettes in the road that are just revolving. You gotta work your way around those. When you're going clockwise, it's always easier to go clockwise around something else. Or you can just speed through it like Frank. Now you can see that you can purchase a bridge.
A ride?
There is real estate around town that you can purchase. That's not your mission right now, but that's a thing that you can do.
You just get money, like...
Yeah, you get more returns on your real estate, I think, so it just helps you get more money.
Just if I wasn't clear earlier, I hate this game.
Task that needs attending to in my suburban getaway.
Just in case you didn't realize that.
All of the acting...
Messages earlier, I would like to clarify.
All of the acting is done by people who clearly are not actors, delivered like they're, in high school making a video with their friends. I know because I've been there.
If this game is just a bunch of friends making a game,
yeah,
that's funny, that's cool, whatever. God bless them. But
I should make sure because there's always some hesitancy on our part to understand like what role is this game, So I want to clarify this game was $15 when it launched, so just to set those standards. It's difficult to jump off a side of a cliff, Frank. Sometimes you'll just take an absolute ton of damage doing it.
But I got that cash, baby.
Got that cash. Cash 3 out of 127.
That's a lot of cash. What, he just wants you to destroy the neighbor's mailboxes?
He's a millionaire and doesn't understand what non-millionaires value, so he wants you to destroy his neighbor's mailboxes as revenge.
I mean, run.
What a petty individual. How about I just kill them like I'm doing? Isn't that revenge enough? The murder, the taking away of their, their life?
Uh-huh.
Is that worth nothing to you, Giorgio? Or not Giorgio, whoever this guy is, Maximilian?
Yeah.
All's Maximilian.
Oh, look at Frank pivoting around those obstacles. He's getting the hang of it. And I think Hunter must too, because he's ahead of Frank.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pivoting.
You just did the same mission again, Frank.
God,
Frank is not getting a hold of it.
Okay, on the list
Some
now.
of the unlockables you guys can get from the upgrade stations are different colors for your limousine. You can get a hat for your limousine, different horns, so it makes different horn noises as you hit things. Which,
As you die?
Yeah, because you beep your horn every time you hit something. It takes about 6 or 7 hits before the limousine blows up. Roundabout is made by No Goblin LLC. They have 3 projects to their name. Roundabout in 2014, and then 2 years later, a game called 100-Foot Robot Golf, which is a fast-paced arcade golf game where you control kaiju-sized robots playing golf, knocking down cities as you do. That is available on PlayStation and Steam. They also have a PSVR add-on to it called Kaiju Driving Range, which I think is what it sounds like just in VR. Let's see. They also, on their website, have a project called Men of Game Development, in which they took hunky calendar style photos of men who are game developers. It seems like it started off as a joke and then they just kept doing it for 4 years with random industry people, not really like benefiting anything in particular, just selling calendars of game dev men in sexy photos. I found the Kickstarter from 2017, and it seems like they reached their goal of $3,000 and made it to $6,900.
Hold
nice.
up, I'm falling in love with Beth. I've taken her to see some ducks, and she touched my shoulder, and I looked at her
kind of confused
with a new video.
Not the same one.
Yeah.
Frank, are you just refusing to use the slow-mo?
Yeah.
You're too proud? Okay.
Yep. My pride will be the death of me in
It has been the
virtual
death of
reality
you.
and real reality. So
Picking up Ranger Stacy.
Their calendar, their men of game development. On their list are some people from their own studio, as well as some names I was surprised to see on there. John Romero from id
I knew
Software
it. I knew that fucker would be there.
A vain photo shoot. You know John Romero is going to be there. Also, Darren Korb from Supergiant Games. He's the voice of Zagreus and the main composer for all the songs in the game. And also someone whose mind we've seen too far into, Swery from Deadly Premonition. He did a photo shoot. And you can now see not just the horrifying depths of his mind, you can also see his butt cheeks because he's wearing a thong in the photos. And I wish I hadn't seen it. So, I don't. Whatever you want to do with that information. The men of game development. Last time they did it was.
Are we going to share those images on our Discord?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll post it in our Discord. Yeah, if you want to see those photos, which are also on their website, come to our Discord. Yeah.
Always plug the Discord. I don't know why.
I always plug the Discord. I always forget to do it. I always forget to mention, like, subscribe to the podcast, YouTube, and Twitch. I haven't done that in like 4 episodes, so I'll do it. I'll say it now. You can find us streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/ggncast. We have a YouTube where I'm putting the videos of these up a week after the podcast comes up. The podcast comes out on Thursday. I don't know if you guys knew this. I was actually a limo driver before I became a full-time podcaster. I always thought I did a good job, but they let me go for always going the extra mile. Yeah. I'm just worried that without me driving the limos anymore, someone's gonna spend all this money on a limousine and then have nothing to show for it. You didn't like that one, Frank? You thought I was a bit of a stretch?
Oh, I found a horn.
Bob says this game could be free and will still cost too much. Stop driving the limo after a turn of events.
Ooh.
Nice job, Bob. Nice job. All right, and the 2 main people behind this game are Dan Teasdale and Panzer, someone who goes by the name Panzer. Teasdale was the designer on Rock Band, Lego Rock Band, Beatles Rock Band, and then the lead designer on Rock Band 3. He also worked on the 2005 Destroy All Humans and then the 2020 reboot of it. Panzer is a game designer artist who does Let's Plays on YouTube, and I was able to piece together from their social media of No Goblin, which is still active, that they do have a new game in development, but no details on what it is. Bounce, 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 bounce. You got this, Frank. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Frank's in a little maze of blue tires, which are safe to hit. One of the few safe things to hit. Yeah.
I did die because of it. It was too safe. I think we've killed enough people now. Blood's on your hand, Georgio. Going
it's on your
Giorgio.
wheel.
God will not forgive your sins, Georgio.
Frank's strategy is to like run into obstacles so hard that he goes through them.
Hello there, driver.
I don't think this guy's really Swedish.
Take me to the soccer race?
Frank has picked up the Swedish tourist.
You've got it. Let us going, Georgie.
Yeah, good luck with that.
That could have been me in another life. I could have been a fat Swedish tourist in bad video game.
Still could be you, Frank. If
Yeah,
you put
you're
your
right.
mind
I
to
have
it,
time.
you're capable of achieving anything.
I'm not dead yet, baby.
As I think you both are getting a little bit more handle of what this game is, because the main gameplay mechanic, it's all about the spinning. It's all about getting used to the turning. Your limo is constantly spinning and trying to figure out how to move and work the angles between these obstacles, and you're just gotta spin at the right time, get your timing down. It's kind of an interesting puzzle movement game. Frank's in a spot that actually went full top down so you could navigate your way through this puzzle. They say it was greatly inspired by a Game Boy Advance launch title called Kuru Kuru Kurin, which, here, I'll put it on stream here. So it was a pretty well-received game from 2001 where you control a slowly spinning stick that's like a helicopter. It's got a duck in it. You're a duck. And if it helps, like picture a helicopter with two giant blades that are very slowly spinning, and you have to traverse the puzzle by moving and pivoting around the obstacles at the right time. And you look at this game and you're like, oh yeah, this is what they're going after. But this is a much more simplified version of it.
Beth is leaving me.
Beth is leaving you? Why is Beth leaving you?
I'm taking her to the airport. She's like leaving.
Oh yeah, she's got to leave town. Yeah.
But she's like, this is our last ride together.
Well, she says that if you want to visit her in the city of Roundabout, because you're not actually in Roundabout right now, you can always go to Roundabout and follow her. But it got me thinking about any other games that, like, the movement, the difficulty of the movement itself is the game. I asked you guys, could you guys think of anything like that remind you of anything?
Well, Gang Beasts, the original version of Gang Beasts, not they kind of updated it so it's not as crazy, but
as
the
janky,
original release of it was very much a clusterfuck.
Because
on purpose, probably not, because they fixed it.
But it was fun, yeah.
But yeah. Also, QWERTY, the typing one.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if that one counts as much. But
I would say so. QWERTY, QWERTY.
It's like a running simulation. You type QWERTY on the keyboard.
Yeah.
I think
I forgot about that. QWOP.
Called QWOP. I'm sorry.
You are QWOP. Yeah, you use QWOP to move your character. Yeah. The games that are streamed in kind of a competitive fashion are Getting Over It with so-and-so, I forget the character's name. The one where you're a man in a pot and you have to use the stick to climb the mountain.
Yeah. I'm a man in a pot.
Yeah. And Jump King is one that's sort of superseded that recently, as just your only command is jumping and you bounce off walls at an angle, and it's one of the same thing, like you can miss a jump and then fall down multiple stages or all the way back to the beginning. I guess we'll take a moment here to kind of just check in. How you guys feel about the controls, the main gameplay mechanic, the movement? How does it feel?
Bad.
So you just don't enjoy it?
Nope.
Don't think it's a challenge and don't want to get good at it, is what you're saying?
I don't know. I guess I could get good,
Oh, I'm sure.
I want to get good. That's what they say about Dark Souls games, right?
It's a Souls driving game.
It feels
it's the Souls of driving it.
It feels smooth, to be honest. Like once you kind of get the hang of it, I don't like it. Like I don't enjoy
but
playing it.
It's not super buggy.
But like it's polished. It feels polished. It feels reactive.
Right.
When I die,
it feels like something you could get good at.
Yeah. When I die, it's because I didn't factor something in, and not just because the game is bad.
Yeah. Playing this game made me realize that, like, the Crazy Taxi genre doesn't have a lot of similar games. I don't know if, did you guys play Crazy Taxi on the Dreamcast?
Oh, yeah.
Like the arcade version of it, yeah.
Well, they had the Simpsons Taxi game. That would probably be the closest.
Was there a Simpsons Taxi game?
Road
or
Rage.
Road
no,
Rage?
actually, there might have been a...
I thought there was one that was, specifically taxi-based.
Simpsons Road Rage is similar to Sega's 1999 video game Crazy Taxi, in that the main objective is to drive and pick up passengers through destinations. Oh, yeah, so that's what I'm forgetting. That's what Road Rage even was. It was chauffeuring people around.
Hit and Run was the GTA one.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, I got it mixed up.
Yeah, I knew there was two Simpsons driving ones.
Yeah, so there aren't really a whole lot that do the Crazy Taxi style, and I remember playing Crazy Taxi on my buddy's Dreamcast back in 2000 and just being blown away by the quality and replayability of this fairly simple arcade game. And they made 2 or 3 Crazy Taxis after that never quite landed right as far as I can remember, but I was looking up some alternatives, and there's not very many, but Snaky Bus is one that's on Steam. It looks pretty interesting. I'd recommend checking that out. It's about a bus that as you pick up passengers, your bus just gets longer and longer. There's a multiplayer update that they did where they just have like 6 or 7 buses that are hundreds of meters long, flying through the city, avoiding each other. And Burnout games, I think all kind of have the similar like casual driving fun feel to it that Crazy Taxi does. And then after that, I think you obviously have to go to Bus Simulator 2012 if you're looking for a chauffeuring experience. Let's talk about the people in this game real fast. Many people in the game also made the game. Probably no giant surprise there, but our lead, Georgio Manos, for our listeners, is a female. That is Kate Welsh. She has a few credits in games. What I save here, I saved her Twitter. There's her Twitter bio. She has a few other credits in the game industry, including UX design, but she is actually now at Secret Door, which is under the umbrella of Dreamhaven. And if you aren't familiar with Dreamhaven, a couple of years ago, Mike Morheim, the former CEO of Blizzard, founded the company Dreamhaven and has been staffed with a ton of people leaving Blizzard. And they have 2 sub-studios underneath them, one called Moonshot and one called Secret Door. We have no idea what they're making over there. Supposedly an RTS game is on the way. That's kind of the last we've heard. But it's been years and no one knows what they're doing. So if they're anything like the current version of Blizzard, maybe they're incapable of actually making anything anymore, but hopefully they didn't bring any of that stagnant culture along with them and they make something interesting. But anyway, Kate Welch, who originally worked at Wizards of the Coast, actually playing D&D on live streams and other press events, and she did some internal work as well, developing things. She did some work on Guild Wars 2 as well. So she is playing our spinning protagonist of Roundabout, our silent hero who contributes a variety of expressions of confusion, eye-rolling, and more to our FMVs. Other actors of note, Mickey, the mechanic, is played by Eric Neustadter, who is the former operations manager of Xbox Live. He started with Xbox in 2002, and he has the gamer tag of E, just the letter E on Xbox. Because supposedly fancy. He was the first ever gamer tag that they made. And in 2015, he became the VP of Technology for Pokemon. So, actually the same year that this came out, they must have seen him in this and thought, yes, we were on the fence before.
Give me the guy with the grease on his face.
We need him for Pokemon. The gentleman who Frank pointed out, large Swedish tourist, he is actually a Canadian tourist later on as well, wearing a Canadian cap and waving a Canadian flag. That is Danny Baranowski, sometimes referred to as Danny B. He's the composer of the music in Crypt of the Necrodancer. And he's actually done the music for Binding of Isaac and Super Meat Boys and others. So yeah, he's a pretty well-known video game composer. And there he is.
Why are they doing
Canadian
this game?
The feeling that I get from this game and the developers and like the whole men of game development thing that they did was the people who comprise this company just know a lot of people and they just get together and hang out and play test games and make their own games. Yeah, Frank's discovered with the jumping mechanic, you can avoid a lot of things, but also you do it too much, it becomes a crutch. And you don't remember how to rotate anymore.
Yeah.
Frank's really going after these collectibles.
I'm all about collecting, all right?
Frank says he hates the game, but he's going to keep playing and trying to collect everything after her.
Hate the game, but I love sick jumps.
Here's another game with too much UI. Just following the mini-map instead of exploring on your own, you know?
It's Red Dead all over again.
Could have been great if it would have let you... game could have been great if it would have let you explore the open world on your own. Pick up Nay Cooper. Oh, here's the communist, yeah.
Gotta get to City Hall. It's a matter of life and death. Go.
I'm gonna kill people. They're gonna die.
She's got a bandolier of bullets across her chest. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
And she's got a bomb of some unknown or a box of some unknown origin. She's got to take to City Hall. I'm sure it's fine.
Maybe not death, but...
Oh, it's another horn.
Your mission is to escape the scene of the crime.
No, I don't like that. I like how we came here for more money and now we're committing acts of terrorism.
Well, all she said was impeach the mayor and hands off our art.
We did good today. We did a real good thing.
We did a good thing today. Remember that. Remember the day.
Just no matter what, remember it was a good thing that we did.
Oh, he's terrible.
Everyone is an awful actor. There's no escaping that.
Well, like these are
Chandra
like professionals,
Akanayaki.
Right? Like
the development is professional. The acting is they're not professional actors. No.
You sure?
I'm 100% sure of this. He has a lot of art credits and story credits in games, not acting credits. He actually worked on 2003's Enter the Matrix and Elder Scrolls Morrowind. He did creature art on it. So, yeah, the guy who did creature art for Morrowind is not maybe the most reliable actor if you're looking for some quality,
definitely
convincing
not.
acting.
Mr. Mayor, thank you for your discretion. Construction fatalities matter.
This guy's
reading
so
cue cards.
I love it.
Oh, there's cars dropping from the sky
Yeah,
as he's trying to beat
that car
Ronaldo.
just fall?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
At least you got the cash stack, though, right,
It's all
Frank?
about that cash, baby. Because I'm using it to invest in properties, okay? Because I'm a landlord. That's right. I'm scum of the earth, baby.
You're going to be a real estate mogul after this revolving chauffeur business ends. Gotta diversify your portfolio.
Okay, fences, yes.
Using other people's hard-earned labor.
Oh, we got it all. We got unions. We got communism. We got
Yeah, I mean, this game really does
the
have
rich.
it all. Eat the rich, be the rich.
Be eaten by the rich.
Yeah, this
if
fucking...
that's your thing. If that's your thing.
If that, yeah. Consensually eaten by the rich.
Consensually eaten by the rich. The narrator was telling you that pedestrian laws in Roundabout are lax, but destroying someone's car is tantamount to treason. Yeah, I can't believe I decided to do this podcast about a game that is essentially like getting over it. Watching people learn the controls for that.
Getting over it in cars. Did the movie Driver come out at this point?
You think this movie was inspired by Driver? Or this game was inspired by Driver?
I don't know. You know?
Or the other way around.
Yeah. I don't know. What was Ryan Gosling? Did he play this game?
I'm going to get through the rest of the story here so that you guys don't have to play it.
Thank
I want
God.
to make sure that you
you.
guys get closure on this game. You are confronted by Ronaldo to be the best revolving chauffeur in the world. He beats you the first time, which you guys both experienced, and you have to up your skills with the help of Mickey. You get some candy dots that are, of course, psychedelic. You hallucinate and meet Jeffrey the skeleton. Hopped up on candy dots, you challenge Ronaldo to a race, and you run him off the road, killing him. Giorgio retreats to the mountains in shame because, as we already learned, destroying someone else's car is akin to treason in the town of Roundabout. You are running low on candy dots, and now you have a beard because you're living in seclusion. But you talk to Jeffrey the skeleton and realize that you have to win back Elizabeth's heart. Meanwhile, there's a task force dedicated to hunting you down called Georgio. After getting clues from every single one of the characters again that you have to, give rides to and chauffeur somewhere, you find Elizabeth. She convinces you to go straight, literally, driving the car without spinning, and you have to do it for about a block, and it's weird. Beth realizes that she shouldn't convince you to be someone you're not, and you drive off into the sunset together in a level that is very much like the classic Penn and Teller video game Desert Bus. If you guys have ever seen that, it's just where you're driving down a nearly endless desert road.
Yeah, I thought
your
that'd be an episode one day, but I guess not.
It might someday, where your car is slowly drifting to the left and you've always got to correct it. So yeah, they do a level with that while you're talking to Beth while the credits roll. So that is the end of the game. I do want to make sure that Frank gets as much enjoyment out of this game as possible. Frank, if you could, as soon as you're done, when you blow up the next time, jump back to the main menu and go to the extras. Hunter, you can check this out too. It's just something that I think Frank will enjoy more because I know.
Do you get to be a dinosaur?
We're going to take a look at our extras here.
Mode?
So they have some great extras here. No violence mode means that you're not smearing red paint all over the road while you're driving. They have a big head mode, which is great. Happy pedestrians is fun because they're like really happy to see you and stuff. Sudden death limo, it blows up immediately. And what I wanted to point you towards, Frank, was Roundabout mode. You're going to hear it happen as soon as you turn on Roundabout mode.
Nice.
Yeah, it is doing some very loud flatulence noises. So there it is. Oh, is there big head mode? That's nice. They do really have big heads. There it is. So I'm going to turn that volume back down so I can finish my notes. There is a deluxe version of this game. It comes with Giorgio Cam, a mod that allows you to experience Roundabout from a first-person perspective.
Oh, God.
That sounds truly awful. And they do say they are not responsible for any nausea-induced. I'm very curious to see what it looks like, actually. I'll pull it up on... Oh, my God. Yeah, that is what you would think. It is. That seems impossible to drive, yeah.
Oh my God.
That's not going to add a whole lot of gameplay to to your game.
No.
I guess for the completionist, if there's any speedrunners out there, they may give it a shot, but good grief.
Your timing would have to be perfect.
The deluxe version also comes with an 87-page FMV screenplay, so like, them planning out their FMVs, I guess, and a couple early build demos, unreleased trailers, and soundtrack. And from some of the reviews, people do say that the early builds are like a lot of fun and they add more replayability to this game. So, I mean, that's your thing. There is another game called Roundabout 3 out. No relation, by the way. That is a rhythm visual game that looks pretty neat, though. But this Roundabout is by No Goblin. If you're looking to find this, we'll wrap this thing up. So from the original pitch, learning about the world's first revolving limousine driver to discover her rise to fame, as it were. That was the original pitch to what they produced. What did you guys think? Did they make the game they promised, Frank?
I guess so.
What didn't you enjoy? What was the worst part of this game?
The revolving part.
Okay, the main part was the worst part.
The part that makes it this game,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
The pitch of the game is what made it bad. Okay,
yeah, I think so. If I were to tally everything up, that's what I would say.
Hunter?
Yeah, I mean,
did they deliver?
They delivered. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out. It's like it's endearing in a way, but also I can't stand it. So
okay,
I don't.
Let me ask this: Did the tone of the FMVs? I mean, it's pretty obvious they're not trying for this to be a serious thing.
Yeah.
They're making an absurd thing. But does that work for you guys?
I think it helps.
Okay.
In a way, I think it lends itself to that whole kind of idea that they're just like, yeah, this is literally just us messing around. It kind of has like a Untitled Goose Game or a Goat Simulator type feel where you're just like, okay, was there a reason? Maybe not. Is it still like kind of fun for a little bit? Maybe.
Yeah, Frank, since you're piling on, tell me something you like about this game.
I like the fart mode.
You're still doing the fart mode. I haven't turned your volume back on.
Yeah, it is. Don't worry, there's still farts.
I feel like they held back.
Like they could have gone further.
Yeah,
with it.
like if you really were just like, you know what, we're making this silly game. Like clearly they had a concept and they were just like filling in the blanks after that. Like, oh, we need like some kind of a story or something. So, we'll have these FMVs or whatever. But like, they dress up. They kind of have a couple words that they say, but really like. I feel like you could have done a lot more with them.
Yeah, there's no big swings in there, right?
Yeah.
And like maybe it could have been. I mean, I'll come out and say like the level of absurdity that they're doing, like the kind of like obvious intentional kind of cringiness. It's fine with me. It works.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not great, like you said either. No, but and I wonder like maybe if they did do that, then like maybe it would be swinging too much and it would not work. Maybe it would be cringy again, and I wouldn't appreciate it. I don't know, but it's hard to gauge, But I mean, I like you said, you used the word endearing, and I think that's right. Like after a while of seeing all these characters, I got used to it, and I just thought, yeah, this is silly. Oh, we're picking up Beth again, huh? I wonder what we're gonna do now. You run into the woman who's willing to kill people to save the endangered birds. Like, and it's just this little world that they've created. That's like it's endearing, but yeah, it doesn't take any big swings. Oh, you found the guy with the pills.
Oh yeah, I did. It honestly, like the game itself, again, feels very polished and full, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, it's doesn't feel like a shell of a game, like they were just whatever. Like it feels like
they didn't half-ass the development of it. Yeah,
but the FMVs just are so weird.
Overall, as a concept, like I don't know if you need to. Oh, actually, you're about to discover another main character in the game as soon as you get to that point and take your pills.
Oh, is this the...
They're like the little dots on paper that you would peel off, and you'd always get the paper with them. So you take the pills and you start hallucinating Jeffrey the skeleton. My gameplay was about an hour and a half total, and you can expect about that much gameplay out of the game, and then you can go back and do all the collectibles if you're really enjoying yourself. Oh, Frank's doing the island hopping. I found this part very tedious. I did see some people mention like a 3-hour playtime. I don't know. Maybe they just need to get good, So whoever has the highest score, have it printed out. I've been printing things, you guys.
Is it a little revolving
wait, there's a new
limo?
mission. It's a new FMV. So whoever can get the world record, not the world record, our friend record. The prize this evening, if you can see it on stream here, is a beautiful little head, the skull representing our good friend Jeffrey. And hold on, I can show you. Here you go. Here's a low poly skull here. Nice little trinket that you can have around your own house.
Avoid.
I don't know what we're doing. Avoid falling cars. Okay.
Oh.
Someone. The world record is an hour.
Oh God. I made it.
You just have to keep moving.
5.5 seconds.
I made it 9.5 seconds.
I just keep dying. Like, yeah, I just can't not explode.
You made it 12 seconds. You have the record so far.
Yeah. Ah, damn it. I'm gonna beat that record.
30 seconds. 32 seconds.
Holy shit.
I got to the end of the bridge and there was nowhere to go. I'm doing the desert bus right now. By the way, you can see that it automatically just drifts a little bit to the side and you've got to correct it. And you've got a timer on top to see how long you would do it. Oh, there's I see Lokthar, who is the world record holder, did it for 20 hours. 20 hours of correcting the driving. GGNcast could be there.
You should do a 20-hour stream.
Let's talk the Metacritic score for this game, which is an aggregate of critic reviews scoring from 0 to 100. Any guesses on where this landed for the Metacritic score?
I'm going to say 75.
75 from Frank and Hunter.
I'll go 80.
80. I'm gonna stop asking Frank because I'm just so convinced that he's a filthy cheater who looks it up on Metacritic whenever we start playing.
I think so.
It was $75 or 75 on the nose. And here are some reviews.
Okay, this is from GameSpot, and they say, but even without the incentives to keep playing after the credits roll, Roundabout works well as a short chunk of odd beat humor and arcade-like gameplay. It's unapologetic in its goofiness, and it tells a fun story on top of its relatively unique gameplay. Sure, you can draw comparisons to games that inspired it, but when was the last time you played an absurdist 1970s limousine game that was so much fun? 80.
I'm driving right now. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Eurogamer.net says, it's crazy how much effort has gone into the foundations of this tiny piece of Technicolor idiocy. It's also kind of noble, really. On Twitter recently, I watched a Vine that a game designer had made capturing the way your limo's tire tracks change from black to red for a few sweet seconds as they race over a puddle of pedestrian blood. As with the flattened Hare Krishnas of the first GTA, there's no real horror to this, but rather a sweet paint-boxy thrill at the simple visual pleasures of it all. Roundabouts put a lot of effort into looking mindless, in other words. Those FMV cutscenes may suggest a lark or a caper, but someone somewhere was really battling for this one. 80 out of 100.
Yeah, and that's like what you were saying. Like it feels like a polished game underneath the wackiness of it all.
it's something.
It's something. All right, one more here from Polygon. They say Roundabout's central premise is odd and amusing on its own, but the developers at No Goblin were smart to create something that requires genuine skill on top of the goofiness. By surrounding a game that punishes sloppiness with a delightful sloppy narrative, they transformed a curiosity into something memorable. 75 out of 100. Oh, and there was one more review here by Digital Spy that says Roundabout is simply overflowing with personality, offering the best bad acting around and clever missions that make the aggravating city exploration worth plotting through. So they really enjoyed the charming nature of it all. So we heard from some of the critics who gave it a 75 overall, which isn't exactly trash, but now we move into the section, is this someone else's treasure? So yeah, we'll hear from some of the users. I think these all come from Steam. Hunter, this first one for you.
Popoy says, I don't think I've played a game that was as instantly charming as Roundabout since Katamari Damacy. The core mechanic is fun and satisfying to master, and the FMV cutscenes are downright delightful. Recommended.
And Frank, what you got there?
Kate Welch says, this game is great because I'm in it, but also because of all the gameplay and other stuff. Recommended. You know what? That's funny. All right, good on Kate Welch. All right.
I was just browsing the reviews and I saw that review. I'm like, wait, that's it. Yeah, it's actually her username. And yeah, it's her Steam account. So that's fun. And from the curator section, I saw a Total Biscuit did leave a review that this is a game where you drive around a revolving limo and enjoy questionable cutscenes. It's a driving puzzle game and a B movie, a unique combination.
R.I.P.
Sure enough. R.I.P. Total Biscuit. And also from, in their highlighted reviews, also from Game Informer, they said there's a surprising amount of skeletons, which is true. Oh, and actually, I have a negative review here as well. This one's all right, Frank. And here's a contrarian review for you here.
This is from Fried Console. The developers of Roundabout had a great basic gameplay mechanic of having a continuously rotating object navigating around obstacles. This was the developers' only good idea. The other idea, like live-action cutscenes, no challenge or incentive to do well, terrible minigames, cheat settings that make things more unfun, or collecting money for useless limo hats were terrible ideas. I normally don't think story and cutscenes are that important, but cutscenes surpassing cringe and go into repulsive territory. What is needed is something where you have to achieve a certain rating and collect stars to progress. You think I might be hyperbolic, but I truly believe this might be the worst game on PlayStation 4. Please do not buy unless you really have terrible taste in video games.
Wow. Yeah, very, very serious good gamer there who did not enjoy this game at all, but that's all right. What about our scores? This time we gave this game a score it deserves using our Garbage Valley score system. So our system's a little unique. We score things from -10 to +10. 0, it's in the Garbage Valley. You don't want to be there. There's no enjoyment to be had at all. As you go up towards, 10, that's a normal game. It's getting good. But you can go -2, and the closer you get to -10, the closer you're getting to be a game that's so bad it's good. So what do you guys think we should rate it? Tell me about this game. Where do you put it on a scale?
I don't know. I give it does what it's saying it does,
Yeah. Now, and I will put a caveat on this one because we've done a few that are like, these are games that are like intentionally doing something absurd and bad. Like they're playing off being bad. I think Marlo Briggs did some of that to a point. They were trying to be cheesy. So I think that with our scale in mind, that the developers would be happy to get something in the negatives as well.
Yeah, but I'm not giving them a negative. It's just okay. I'm just going to give them a 2. Giving them a 2.
Wow, a 2. Wow, a low 2.
Giving them a 2.
All right. Hunter, what do you think?
Man, this one's a hard one. I don't know. The game itself, like I said, is well made. It's polished. The mechanics are there. I almost wholly disagree with everything that serious reviewer that we read was about. Like, oh, it needs achievements and it needs this. I think that goes the same way as that Ubisoft Elden Ring joke. Like, this game has everything that it needs. It's super simple. It has fun little back and forth. It almost feels like a well-polished mobile game. Like one of your, what was it, Subway Surfer, I think, was like a really popular one that had enough upgrades and enough fun little customizing things. Or what was the other one? Rocket. I used to play one like Jetpack guy? Jetpack?
The run games too.
Yeah, just like different stuff like that. And this one, it was $15 when it came out.
$15, and you usually find it on sale for as low as like $3, I think.
You can upgrade. I enjoy that you can buy horns and customize your car. I think it's cool that you can also buy like different places on the map, and I think everything works really well. I was very thrown off by the idea at the beginning, but as I played it, I really started enjoying it, and I think the really like dry and terrible acting in the FMV cutscenes goes well with the style of the game. All the 70s stuff, I think, kind of gets lost because nothing about this game feels very 70s. Like the city doesn't
it's just the music.
I don't want to give it a negative score because I think it's an all-around like good game. I don't think it's so bad it's good. I think it's exactly what it wants to be. I think I could comfortably give it a 5.
All right. Bob says Jetpack Joyride.
Thank you. Yes.
Jetpack game.
I put a lot of time into Jetpack Joyride.
Yeah, so I found Roundabout really charming, actually. I was drawn in by the trailers that promised a lot of cheesy-looking FMV, and I didn't know whether they were going to land or not. But in the end, I think it worked for me. They know they're bad. It's all supposed to be absurd. And what kind of surprised me the most after, you see the trailers of this game, of which obviously they lead with the FMVs, and you see just a glimpse of what the gameplay is. I didn't expect the gameplay to be like you were saying, Hunter, like solid. That's not everyone's cup of tea to like.
But it's well well done. Like,
yeah, to like the challenge of navigating this slowly spinning limousine through the world. It's one of those in-game mechanics that you get the hang of after a while, and then like once it clicks, like it feels good once you're doing good at it. Like you're navigating through like a parking garage and you're pivoting just right.
Well, right now I'm spin jumping from building top to building top.
Right.
So like the verticality in this game.
It's like Rocket League now. Yeah. I thought the gameplay was a pretty fun mechanic once you're like whipping the limousine around these mazes and like you hit the reverse spinner and you're spinning the other way and you're avoiding the cars and the walls. I found that to be pretty fun. I'd put it at a 7. I really enjoyed my time playing this. I mean, it's a $15 game. And all right, guys, anything to recycle here from this game? Would you like to see them move forward with a Roundabout 2, or you want to see more games with these kinds of mechanics? It sounds like, Frank, you don't really enjoy learning these kinds of games.
I mean, you know what? If someone likes it, God bless them, they can do it. You know, I'm not stopping anybody. Will I be excited to be picking it up? I don't think so.
So here's a point to be made about that, and I think a lot of reviewers that I watch are making these points about games is that they're just they continuously add things. I think the reason this game works is because it's literally just a spinning car. Like you get a couple bonuses, but like if you did a sequel and you have to add something else, and then another sequel and you have to keep adding stuff,
can't improve upon perfection. Yeah, you know, they
10 out of 10.
Well, they have this one mechanic, and they're doing this one mechanic. Yeah, what else are you gonna do? And they have enough content in there, right? Like the different speed runs of different things. Why, so if this game were ever to catch on for like a streaming community kind of thing, as a thing to run, then it would. And then they've given the people what they need. I haven't been great about putting scores down recently because I haven't been doing trivia so much recently. But Frank, you got the highest score in our challenge, as well as cheating at Metacritic. So congratulations, Frank. You are the
deserves it
of a tiny low poly skull, unless you're asleep, Frank, in which case I won't give it to you, but you went blue, so.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
All right, well, I hope that I haven't created another addiction for you like we did with No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
and you're trying to beat all
the
high scores with Roundabout, so I hope that doesn't happen here. But all right, guys, that's our review of Roundabout, a little more enjoyable one, hopefully, than we've done more recently.
I think a slightly better tutorial area, like the first zone, kind of more emphasizing going in and out of stuff. They just kind of like put you out there.
Yeah, you just like Dark Souls, man, or just like Elden Ring.
Well, Elden Ring actually does have a tutorial area, which I didn't know until the third time I keep reading articles about
people avoiding it. Apparently, like it looks like a dark pit, and people are like, "Well, I'm going to avoid that."
Yeah,
everyone skips
what's funny
the tutorial.
is if you talk to the guy that's sitting right next to it, he tells you that you should go down there.
And that's the thing; people thought it was a trap, so they avoided it. The Dark Souls of driving.
You can't
games.
listen to a guy who's sitting next to a big hole. And he's like, "Hey, you should go in there." Okay, bud.
Try finger butthole.
And then you'll give me a back.
Maidenless.
All clips in this podcast were used in compliance with the U.S. Copyright Fair Use Exemption for criticism and commentary. Garbage Game Night makes no claims to ownership over any games played and has no affiliation with any developer or publishing company. For additional references on cited articles and quotes, check our episode-related blog at garbagegamenight.com. Or if you have a comment about the game we reviewed or have a suggestion, drop us a line.